Welcome back to the smooth sounds of K102 in Seattle, your classic rock station. Just kidding. Welcome back. This is another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast with me, Jason.
And me, Jennifer.
Have a few drinks.
And talk shit about our kids.
Ooh, and we got some shit to talk. And we got some booze. What are we drinking today, Miss Jennifer?
We are drinking Maker's Mark, which I put a little Coke in mine to give me a little bit more caffeine, but you know.
Which whiskeys can you drink straight?
Jameson, Guidance, a lot of other ones. Like whenever we try it at the Nook, I usually try it. I usually try them all straight, but I wanted a little caffeine. And Maker's Mark's not my favorite, but you know I know you love it, so I will drink it with you.
Yay! And our kitty cat decided to come visit you.
Yep, she sure did.
She was trying to get all the lovin's in before we had to put her down.
I'm okay with giving her all the lovin's.
This poor cat. We adopted her, I think they said she was 9 when we got her, but she's just, excuse me, has been, like, she started to fatten up. Mm-hmm. And it was really funny because she loves our son, Justin. He is 21 now, and she sleeps with him because Zane won't let her in the back with us, even though I'm just like, you know, why would you have a cat if you're not going to let it just go wherever it wants? But she loves that boy.
Oh, yeah.
I have walked into his room many a time, and he's got the blanket pulled up over her a little bit, and he'll complain about how it's annoying because she'll crawl up onto his chest and touch his face. And it's like, oh, God, it's so precious. But she developed pancreatitis, and she's like, 10 or 11. She's probably 10 now or 11, but she's just lost a crap ton of weight, and we can't keep. Every time we try and give her pills, she bites me, or Zane won't do it. So yeah. She just she's so bony right now.
She is. I'm just petting her head so that way I don't have to feel all the bones.
Yeah, it is heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's sad.
And the only reason, normally I just let her pass away, but she's pissing on everything. Like, she's pissed on the couches. She's pissed in Justin's room everywhere. So it's just like, okay, she's
telling you something.
Yeah. And like we can't get her to take the medication. And they were like, oh, we can do an ultrasound on her, but it'd be $450. But I'm like, oh, that's an old cat to be getting that kind of treatment.
Yeah.
So.
And, Justin gave her a good life. There towards the end here, all the lovin's and the cute tucking her in at night underneath the covers. And even though he complains, he loves her.
Yeah. And she's getting all the Jennifer lovin's right now.
Oh, yes.
Kitty. I wish we had some video of it because she's in your lap standing, but she's like stretching her neck out so you can get her chin. Mm-hmm. Cute baby.
So cute.
Oh, well, how's your week been, Miss Jennifer?
It's been okay. Stupid COVID and
long-term headaches.
Headaches. I went to a neurologist on Monday, and I was told I was going to get an injection in my neck. Well, I hear injection in my neck, and I think one needle, one shot, and that's it. Well,
just kidding.
Yeah, so he injected me 6 times in my head and in the back of my, right top of my neck and, down a little bit further, kind of towards my shoulders. Right. And it was liquid fire. So when he injected me with whatever he injected me with, it was burning and it hurt a whole lot, and then made my neck hurt the next day. And
how long did the burning sensation last?
Well, he didn't really give me much time, in between. I was holding my breath and squeezing my hands because it hurt. And he'd be like, okay, next 2. And I'm like, what, huh?
What?
2 more? And then he's like, we got 2 more to go after that. And I was like, oh, so I just held my breath. And the burning lasted just, I guess, enough as the time as it, entered into my brain, right. Wherever the hell it went. So maybe, just probably just a few seconds. But, few seconds felt like forever,
Pain up in your neck region is so hard to ignore. If it's in your foot or in your hand or something, the further away from your head, the easier. At least for me, it's I can kind of ignore it or push it away. But if it's in your mouth or your neck or your head,
yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, and you've been dealing with these headaches since you got COVID. It's been a year now.
Yep. Yep.
So,
But hopefully this stuff will work. He said probably about a week for all of the, I guess, the liquids to go wherever they need to go, whatever. I don't know. I think everything's just trial by
yeah.
guessing.
I don't get the impression they know what's causing
They
these
don't.
COVID headaches.
Yeah.
So.
Or my leg pain or anything else that I've had because of what I blame COVID for it all because I was pretty not hurting, but my knees before I got COVID, and after COVID, it's just like I just started getting all these ailments and stuff like that. So I don't know, but other than that, work.
It's just I don't think it's COVID. I think it's probably the encroaching menopause.
No, we're not saying that. I'm getting older, but not that old. Not yet. I know it's 35 to what did he say? 35 to like 55 that you can have it, but. No, we're not going to put that out there. Fuck you, Jason.
Fuck you, Jennifer. In your barren womb. Well, tell me, I'm going to go yell at the kids for a moment. So you tell me about the leg thing. Because I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast before, but I know ever since, it hasn't been since COVID, has it?
Yeah.
Has it? Okay, you've had like a burning in your right leg?
Left leg.
Left leg.
Left thigh. It's been a pain that... is between the hip and the knee, and it's not constant. It can be constant, which is just weird, but it's like multiple hours of the day. There's kind of like a fire feeling in my leg where there's it just kind of goes right up to the knee and then stops and then goes up to the hip, and then I've found out I have arthritis in my back, so they thought it was that. So I got steroid injections in my back, which didn't do anything. And then I ended up going to PT for 2 months, I think. A month. And that was a lot of money. So.
And then back from beating the children. Is that the one where they were trying to roll you with a foam roller thing?
They did. It hurt.
You wanted to punch the
and then
therapist?
I got dry needled, which sounds very sexual, but it was not. Where they just stuck needles into my body.
And your piss slit?
Huh? I heard my piss slip.
Piss slit.
Oh. No. Into my hip, my leg, my thigh. And then I got plunged, which was also very interesting. They used a baby plunger on my leg. And it was the weirdest thing ever.
It's been a while since I've been plunged.
Yeah. Last week doesn't count, bud. But yeah, so it's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. But we'll get through it. There's no other choice but to get through it. So
you did say they're doing the electrostim things, right? Mm-hmm. And that seems to be helping, right?
Yeah, well, that helps with the pain of it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's actually making it go away or just helps with the pain, but anything that helps. So, and then I can put it on my back, and I can put it on my foot for the plantar fasciitis. I was reading up on everything that I have, and so I could put the little pads on my heel, and that could help with the plantar fasciitis as well, that I found out that I had as well. So this year alone, I've gotten 3 new doctors: a back doctor, a foot doctor, and a neurologist. So I was gonna say head doctor, but then I figured you'd start talking about shrinks and stuff.
Are you accusing me of making sexual innuendos?
No. I was you making me sound like I need to be at the funny farm. With the shrink.
That's true in general.
Haven't been certified yet, so there's no papers.
You're just a journeywoman.
Yeah. Well, enough about me. How was your week?
It's been okay. I've been struggling with depression lately. I was telling you and Zane that I was I don't know if it's a midlife crisis or not, but I just feel, I don't know how to describe it. I guess I look back at my life and I'm proud of some things. I'm certainly proud of all the work I've done with my little brothers and big brothers, big sisters, and the stuff I've done with the kids. And I don't feel like I failed in that way, but I look at my career and I'm I'm 10 years into as a software developer, and I'm just I'm not loving it anymore. And I'm is this a midlife crisis, or am I just burnt out from this particular job, or is my team, or so I don't know. But hopefully by the time this episode airs, I will have started a new job.
Yeah.
So if any software developers are out there and you're needing a new job, go apply on or put your resume up on dice.com, because I have just been inundated with phone calls from people. And so I finally got one, and it seems like a good fit. I'm a little nervous because it's contract to hire. So, it makes me nervous to take a contract to hire when, you've got dependents, but the contracting company said they had medical benefits. So, and, it still makes me a bit scared to think that they may not convert me at the end of the 6 months.
Right.
But we'll see. I don't know. I have a friend who's done recruiting before, and he said that, because if it was like a manufacturing job where you're just a warm body putting widgets in a hole or whatever, he's like, I'd be more worried about that. But since you're kind of a specialized skill set, it's not like you're easily replaceable. So. Right.
And then you also have all these other offers. So if something were to happen, you could just go and, talk to them and get another job. So you're okay.
Yeah.
You got this.
I looked on Glassdoor, and they said that the both company, the contracting company and the company I will eventually transition to, are both good companies, or they have good reviews at least. So.
Right.
We'll see, but hopefully this helps with the depression. I've been, I don't know. What sucks is I actually signed up me and Kalia for therapy just because I think she's been dealing with some abandonment issues. She's been telling the teacher at school that she's sad that her baby sister gets to go home with mom and she doesn't. And,
yeah, poor baby.
Yeah, and she can't control her emotions super well. She'll just she won't get, she gets a little bit mad, but she'll start crying and then hyperventilating. And I think she'll get everybody's attention on her, and she's embarrassed and she can't stop herself.
Right.
And so she's like drooling, crying so hard. And the teacher actually called me the day, and she's like, I can't get her to stop. Can you talk to her? So I was like, yeah, put her on the phone. I was just like, baby, it's okay. It's okay. Calm down. It's okay.
Breathe.
I was like, I'm just going to beat the shit out of you when you get home. No, I didn't do that. But, it's, I know it's tough on her. And, it's like, I hate to make it about me, but it's embarrassing for me too, as,
right.
a grandparent. But she's going through some shit. And
well, therapy will help. And
yeah.
The younger she gets into it, which she should have already been in it anyways, I feel, because of the whole foster care situation, just because, they need to talk about all that stuff.
But I think at this age it's more play therapy than talk therapy.
They still talk and play therapy, though. Play therapy is just so that way they can be focused on something else while they talk about their feelings. It's not just sitting on a couch,
Gotcha.
It keeps them occupied while they still discuss and talk about emotions and stuff, but they get to use their hands to do something else but just sit there and fiddle and that kind of thing. So that's how I feel about play therapy.
Wesley's in play therapy.
Oh yeah, he's been in play therapy since I got him.
Yeah, we just never had any behavioral, like Clea would have her moments where she's just stubborn and a little turd, but she's never had major behavioral issues. This is last year she did have some bad days at school, but it always seemed to.
And we've heard of worse
things
kids can do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It could be better, but it could also be a whole lot worse.
It's true.
Speaking of foster kids, I remember when it was right after we got Kalia, we went to go visit our friend EJ, who works at a local hotel. And we parked near the hotel, and the hotel's in this area called Providence, and there's a green area. And so they seemed to be having some sort of festival. So I was like, oh, do you want to go check it out? Because it was about fall.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And so we went over there, and it was a foster care festival, trying to, I guess, recruit foster families. And I was like, oh, because we're part of APAC, which is a, foster to adopt group. I went and talked to some of the volunteers. I'm like, oh, who do y'all represent? They're like, oh, we're with, I don't know who. But I was like, oh, I've worked with APAC before. They're like, oh yeah, we know APAC. We do the harder kids than them. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? She's like, oh, kids with behavioral problems and bad psychological problems. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was at the face painting station with Kalia, and these little girls, probably 10, 11, somewhere in there, just walked up and kind of went straight past the volunteers and grabbed the paint and started using it on themselves. And the volunteers were like, oh no, honey, let me help you with that. I was like, oh God. So Oh, kids. They're
Yeah.
fucking awful.
Well, that was also when she had the pumpkin that she had to throw away from in front of her, right?
Yes. She was acting a fool.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't acting a fool, but she was acting bad. And I was getting really tired of it. And I'd warned her a couple times. I'm like, listen, well, all right, back up. As part of the festival thing, that she got to paint a pumpkin because it was Halloween time or October time. And we left, and she was just kind of acting just crappy. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I was like, listen, if you don't stop, I will throw this pumpkin away. So we go up to Walmart, and she starts acting a fool. And so we get back to the car, and I pick up the pumpkin, and I go throw it away. And she's like begging me not to do it. And I chuck it in the thing, and she just starts screaming in the middle of the Walmart parking lot. She runs back to the car, locks the door, and just screams in there. And I just was like, I'll just let her scream it out. I don't care. So
Gotta follow with what you say, or they don't learn. It's one of the hardest things to try to remember, because you gotta think about. Sometimes you don't think about the not the consequence, but what you're doing or what you're going to have to do. Mm-hmm. And then they don't think about it either. Oh, okay, well, I'm going to push my limit and see how far I can go. And then it gets thrown away, and then it's like, oh, fuck. I just did that, didn't I?
Yep. Yeah. I think that was probably the most crazy outburst I'd ever had from her, though. But I think it was also, we'd only had her, because that was like the October after we got her. So it would have been October of 19, I think. So
like 2-3 months, somewhere around there.
So she probably wasn't. I don't know. I'd never done anything that extreme before, but I've had to do it once more with her. Like, I had to throw something away because it was just like, she's real protective of her stuff.
Yes.
So,
and she doesn't want to get rid of anything.
Yes. Oh my God. She has a bike from her foster family before us bought her a bicycle. Cute little bicycle. Yeah. But she's a giant now. Yeah. She's almost 4'3" or 4.5 feet tall. Her knees hit the handlebars constantly. And we keep telling her, like, we got to donate this. We got to get you a bigger bike. Because Wesley has a bike that fits her. Right. She stretches a little bit, but it fits her a whole lot better. Yes. And every time we bring it up, she just starts crying because she does, it's special memories. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, girl, we can't just... That girl's going to be a hoarder. Wesley's going to be a hoarder if you'd let him. But,
well, I'm not. And I feel bad because I was told he had hoarding tendencies when I got him. So I've really tried not to. I've even showed him like a part of an episode of Hoarders and was like, this is what Mama doesn't want you to be. So stuff is just stuff. If you want a memory, just think about it. You don't need the stuff to remind you of what it is. Like, we'll keep pictures. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take a picture of the fucking rock. I just don't want it in my house. Or the 18 that you want to bring home and put in your room.
Oh my God, he's obsessed with rocks.
He is.
I remember I think his first Christmas you had him, I got him a little box of like, I don't know, it was like fool's gold. Yeah, it was minerals, like fool's gold and some other bullshit like that.
Like onyx or blah, 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 yeah.
I think he liked it, but then he started trying to break them.
He didn't try.
Oh, did he actually break them?
He pulverized some of them, like hitting them together. There was dust everywhere in his room, rock dust or whatever. And so that's another reason. Another thing I tell him is like, no, you can't have it because you're going to break it. Yeah. I'm not going to break. You did. You broke what Jason got you. So no rocks in your room, please.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was like that time when he like plunged into the pond, and I asked you if I could take away his tablet. Yeah. He picked up a rock, and he got so upset with me that I made him throw it away. Yeah. Because I made Kalia throw hers. I was like, "You're not taking shit home from the park. Just throw it away." And I actually think he threw hers away, and so I made him throw his away. Yeah. Oh, he was mad at me. He wouldn't talk to me the rest of the day. I'm like, what the fuck? No, I think that was a different time, but either way. Yeah. These kids.
He likes them raw. And it's not... So there's this trend where they write shit on rocks, and then they paint the rocks, and then you do this, blah, blah, blah. So he found 4 at Diddle Landing with his big brother the other day. The big brother from Big Brothers Big Sisters. And he had them in his pocket, and I'm like, no, they're not coming in my house. So I was like, I can throw them away, or I can put them on the porch. Why can't they be in my room? Because you're going to break them. Because they've been out, ducks have pooped on them. I don't want them in my house. Also, I don't want you to be a hoarder. It's just, you don't need rocks. I said, we can leave them on the porch and we can ask Ryan to take you back so you can go hide them for someone else to find. You're not supposed to take them. But they say you can take, baby, just please stop. And then he gets so pissed. Like, he cries and he's just so emotional when he doesn't get his way when it's something like that.
Yep.
It is the craziest thing how he can flip the switch from. I had a great time with my big brother, and now it's slamming doors, and I'm the meanest mom in the world. It's like a switch flipped, and it's like, dude, you know that you're not supposed to have rocks. I mean, we've gone through this so much.
I was about to say hundreds of times at least.
Yeah. And I would say I am very happy, which I know it'll probably start coming up because it's getting to be Christmas time, but he's not talked about a fucking phone in, I think, like 2 months.
I remember that when you first got him, phones were like, he was obsessed with phones.
And he gets that way about certain things where he has to have it. His life depends on it, but he is not. Like, me and the therapist talked the other day, and she's like, he hasn't talked about that. I'm like, I'm glad. Because he's too young right now to have one, in my opinion. He's not by himself ever. So he doesn't need one. I understand, latchkey kids? Like, there are kids that go home that are trusted enough to go home, open the door, and close it, lock it. I would never trust him to do that. I can't trust him to take a shower. The other night, he got more soap. He was leaning, water everywhere in the floor, leaning over the sink to get more soap. I put enough on his loofah for him to wash everything, and he was going to get more. And I'm like, dude, really? Now I gotta take the soap out the bathroom? Like, I can't let you do it by yourself because you use half a bottle, and now I can't even leave it in the bathroom anymore. That's
Weird question. Do you think he's masturbating with it?
No.
Nope. Okay.
I think he was gonna just maybe wash his hair. I hope not. Just because I feel 10 is young, but like I think
I started about 10.
I'm not a boy, so I don't know. I guess he could, but he's gonna have to spit on his hand or something. He can't be using extra soap. I ain't paying for that.
Hell no.
I'm just kidding, by the way. That's nasty, but I am around a lot of gay men, so
I was about to say
that statement has been stated a lot.
Lord. Oh yeah, Kalia's 8, and we still like prep. I mean, I probably could trust her to do it, but she still fucks around with, like, she'll get into, if we leave products in the shower, she'll fuck around with them. Her mom came up recently and brought some products, and Kalia had it all over her face. She had like leg shaving cream on her face, and her mom got on her ass about it. So I'm just like, fuck, girl, can we trust you ever to not go the shit that's not yours?
They're nosy little fuckers. And I don't know when there's a good time. Like, he started building trust back up from the last thing that he did that he was not trustworthy about. And it's just like every time he gets kind of a little trust, he does something to lose it. And the look on his face when I walked in, and I didn't walk in to catch him. I walked in to ask him about, like, snack the next day. And his look on his face, he knew he fucked up.
Yeah.
And like, if you know you're not supposed to do it, just don't do it. But I'm also, I was that kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody was that kid.
I was bad about that too. But like, I would try and cover my tracks at least a little bit.
Oh, he's just stupid sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that about my son, but he doesn't think.
Why are you feeling sad about calling him stupid? My kid's dumb as a box of rocks.
But
not
it's
Kalia.
just like, and I mean, he's not like.
No, he's not like.
He's not stupid. He just does stupid things, and it's like, what were you thinking of getting away with this? Like, where were you going with this? Oh no! It's like, dude, really? Like, I'm just perplexed and just dumbfounded sometimes by just his lack of thought.
Yep.
It's that instant gratification, which they say foster kids.
Well, and ADHD
and
too.
ADHD need that they have that. they'll lie. You watch them do this. They'll lie right in your face and say, "I didn't do it. I videoed it. Look, it's on video right here. That wasn't me." So.
And he was in foster care a long time.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
But I will say if I know he was diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder, I think.
Yeah.
But if he has it still, it is toned down a lot. Because I haven't seen anything extreme for him. Admittedly, I don't see him at home, but I don't see a ton. Like when you first got him, I got glimpses of it when I had to discipline him.
Yeah.
And I've had to yell at him a couple of times, not terribly recently, but
No, I don't think so.
But it also like it doesn't feel as extreme as it was. He's calmed down a lot.
Well, hopefully that's just my strictness, and the way that I parent.
I think it's your love, and your gentle heart.
Yeah, right. We all know that's a lie. Me and those 4 listeners that we have.
I got to tell you, I was talking to Justin last night because we went to go get Zane's car after the trunk or treat. So for the 3 people that listen to our podcast.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Uda. Justin and I went to go get his car from the trunk or treat, and so this episode is actually being recorded the day before Halloween.
Yep.
And so we did a trunk or treat last night at a Pride event, trunk or treat. Anyway, we left Zane's car at the trunk or treat. Justin and I were driving back, and I was just kind of complaining about some of his aunts that were like I had met when his dad was in nursing care.
And you're talking about Justin.
Talking about Justin's,
okay.
Yeah. That right before his father died, I took him down. We figured out what nursing home he was in, and we took him down there. And there was 2 old ladies there, and they were Mr. Fry's, his dad's sisters, so Justin's aunts, and they didn't tell us anything about funerals for him or anything like that. So I was just kind of complaining about that. And I was like, "Do you miss your dad much?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, what was he like? He's like, "He was strict." I was like, "Who was stricter, Jennifer or your dad?" He's like, "Jennifer." I thought you'd get a kick out of that one.
I can't help it. Like I know how I want to. This is how I am. This is how I've always been. And I've, babysat and took care of my little brother. And this is my nature is to be strict. And I know that you can't get stricter. Like if you start off with a foster kid and it's, oh, let's do everything you want. Let's have a yes day. And then try to reel that in. It's harder. But you can relax on strictness. And that's how I've come in. And I think I've relaxed. A little bit, not a lot, but it's the more he grows and the more we see how we are with each other, the more it's either going to get more or less, and it's just going to go from there.
Well, I think that's for every kid.
Yeah.
It's your uncontrolled rage, Jennifer.
No.
Poor Zane is out working today. He's a I'm not going to say where he works, but he's a nurse and he had to work on Saturday. But normally he's running around filling up our drinks for us, and I'm all out of bourbon.
Oh, poor baby.
I need some bourbon.
You're silly.
Don't tell anyone. Well, speaking of foster kids, we were debating today, like, what are we going to talk about today? I was like, I think you were like, because before we ever started this podcast, we were like, let's make a list of topics we can talk about. So I was like, you want to talk about foster families? Because we've had some definite experiences and we've known people who've done it. So Zane and I are actually going to switch over from what you did and what Zane and I did, which is pre-adoption placement, and we're going to switch over to straight foster care.
Right.
So we're just getting that paperwork filled out. So it was funny because I took it we had to get a medical form filled out, and I took it over to the doctor, and she was asking me questions about it. She's like, "Oh, do you think they're going to care about this?" I was like, it's DHR. You could probably just put anything. They probably wouldn't care too much.
Right.
They're so desperate for foster care families. Because apparently they had a big drop off during the pandemic.
Really?
They lost several families. So,
Oh, wow.
but I remember when we first all started this process, you had debated doing foster care, but you decided not to.
Yeah, it wasn't a big debate because I thought about it, and I can't foster a dog without wanting to keep it, so there was no way in hell I'd go and foster a kid, because I don't know if I have the enough willpower to give them back, because it's they still have their family that are, I don't know, trying sometimes to get the kid or not. So I just I just couldn't do it.
You think you could do it now?
No.
Still?
Yeah.
Even after little butthead in there?
Even after little butthead. Well, so I know someone who has 5 foster kids right now in the age of 1 to 15. Oh, and he had one little boy who decided to say like every name in the book to him, and
is this the one who attacked him?
Yeah, tried to beat him up, and he's like 7, and my friend is a large man, and it was just a kind of eye-opening. Like, I don't know if I could deal with that, let alone with butthead, and then by myself.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could. No, I don't want to even try. Like, I have to worry. I don't trust him. Really, I mean, to an extent I do. I don't like lock him in his room or anything like that. But if I had some,
you don't chain him to the bed anymore.
Right. If I had some random kid living with me, I'd worry about the animals. I'd worry about what they might have do to Wesley. Like, it's just not me in the house anymore, so I have to worry about him too. So, yeah, I don't.
Have you given up because we had talked about possibly about adopting another, but are you done?
No, I think I could. I have to.
I think if you did it at this point, you'd have to retake those 10 classes. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to pay then. I mean, there's no way I could take a 3-hour class during the week, but with him too. And
maybe you could leave him with us.
But I've already do that on the weekends, so I mean, But
maybe when he's older.
I don't know. I could probably find some way to adoption placement thing, that I could. Yeah. Or I can just use my friend, and then if he has any kids that have TPR that I like, then I can just be like, hey, I want that one.
I don't know if you can anymore.
I don't know. I'm just being silly.
I think you may have left your paperwork lapse, because we've had to maintain ours.
Well, I mean, I can always figure it out. It's not going to be for probably another at least year to get me healthy enough, not where I have these headaches, because I feel bad, because I'm like, Wesley, Mom got a headache, I don't want to cook tonight, or I don't feel good, my foot hurts, it's kind of, it sucks. So I don't want to have to bring another kid that has to like tiptoe. And Wesley told me the other day he felt sorry for me and for not feeling good, and I'm like, baby, I know, and I'm sorry that I'd always be like, hey, can we shush it a little bit, because Mom's got a headache. But I mean, it's just life, but it still sucks, and I don't want to bring another kid into that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you had a good foster family, or Kalia had a good foster family.
Yeah, they were amazing. We haven't contacted them since the pandemic, but they were amazing. They were such sweet people. I don't know, part of me feels like, because I realized they wanted to adopt Kalia.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for stopping that, but at the same time, it's like I was trying to preserve Kalia and Kiki's, that
Justin.
And Justin. I didn't want to break up the family.
Right.
Because, Justin had suffered so much loss recently, and I was like, I didn't want him to lose his niece. And so I felt bad for, robbing the Woods of that. But at the same time, like, I felt like keeping Kiki and Kalia and Justin all together was more important.
Right.
And I still feel that way. So
right. I'm sure they understood that too.
I hope, but they've been super nice regardless, because they've, for the longest time we would there was a campground not too far from where they lived, and Zane and I would go down there and camp, and we would leave Kalia with them, and they love her, and she loves them, and she loves her old foster sister, whom I think they adopted.
Oh, did they? That's
I think
good.
so. They're amazing because they are probably in their late 50s.
Yeah.
And they're still going strong, and they adopted Kalia's foster sister, who was she's 7 now. They adopted her when she was 5 or 6. I'm like, I'm not sure I'd want to adopt a 5 or 6-year-old in my 50s, but Godspeed to them.
Yeah. And I mean, you're not that far off, so,
Fuck
you're
off.
fostering, so you might do it.
You ain't that much further behind me.
I am not, but I am that close. You're closer.
Hateful bitch.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I love it. The only thing I don't like about getting older is I'm tired.
Yep.
Like my energy levels. Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't hurt, like I certainly don't hurt like you or my mom does, but I'm creakier than I used to be. So like not knees, but like backs, or like I'm more sensitive to losing sleep, or my nervous system. I don't know if it's, well, I know it's recent, but I don't know what's causing it, but like 2 cups of coffee in the morning, I'm okay. If I have a third, I will have diarrhea for 4 hours.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
And like I'm having to cope. You know how like if any of our listeners ever go out to dinner with us, I can kick back anything I drink. Yeah, soda, water, tea. Mm-hmm. I will drink about 4 to 5 glasses
before our food gets there.
Yep. And then during dinner, I'll have 3 more.
Yep.
I mean, I probably drink a gallon.
Yeah.
But I'm also having bad diarrhea if I have like soda.
Really?
Yeah, because I think it's the caffeine. Huh. It's just give me the poops.
That's weird.
Oh, look, we got that bidet, baby. But yeah, oh god, the other day I went to lunch, and I guess I'd had 2 cups of coffee. Oh, I had a cup of coffee. I had 2 cups of coffee. And then about 11, I was about to go to a meeting. So I was like, well, I want a cup of coffee just to kind of put off the hunger feelings a little bit. So I had a third one about 2 hours after my first 2. So I was like, oh, I'll probably be okay. Well, then I go to lunch and I have my typical 4 sodas.
Right.
And I almost shit myself in the car.
Oh, shit.
I was clenching my butt cheeks from like a mile away. I was God. Do not crap yourself. Do not crap yourself. Because I have crapped myself many a times. But yeah, I was just like, oh God, can I make it to the bidet? No, I can't make it to the bidet because the bidet is in the back bedroom and I gotta get to the closest one.
I didn't realize caffeine could do that. That's crazy.
I mean, it certainly makes me pee a whole lot, but yeah.
Which, that kind of makes sense drinking so much, but not the pooping part. That's
I mean, I assume it's the caffeine, but it's because I've noticed if I have 3 cups of coffee, I am literally shitting my brains out for about.
That's not a good way to try to lose weight, baby.
Well, I mean, the bulimia works a little bit better, but. What were we talking about? Foster families? Some shit like that.
Yeah, we were until we had gotten into poop stories.
That's right. But I do know, like, I lucked out with Kalia's foster family. They even liked Kiki. They liked her. They were trying to help her get custody of Kalia back. Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because when Kiki was in danger of losing, the court ordered that she have an observer come over and watch her parent Kalia, basically. And the foster parents they told her, it's like, hey baby, just do some laundry, just interact with her, you'll be fine.
Right.
So they were really supportive of
that's good.
Kalia or Kiki. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like, why didn't y'all just adopt Kiki? And then
they probably didn't think about it.
Maybe.
And also, you know how much trouble you had in the state of Alabama and their weird.
They wouldn't have had that problem.
Married straight couple. That's right. Yeah. Never mind.
They wouldn't have had that problem.
Yeah.
So.
But it all worked out.
It all worked out, and we still see them. But I will say the foster family, the last foster family Wesley had was trash.
The one Wesley had I would imagine were trash.
Why the
I
last?
will say.
Okay, I know about the one that gave him up, but who's
Well,
the
because
one?
he had two more after that. So he had a group home kind of thing situation where there was a lot of kids and
Oh, okay.
TV was babysitter, and that's why when I got him at the age of 8, baby can't read, can't tell me a sight word because they didn't know one wanted to try. So
So what?
Yeah.
So if I remember the story correctly, he was with the foster family that was going to adopt him.
yeah, they told him they were going to adopt him.
And then they got his biography statement, and there was possible
Child
sexual,
abuse.
yeah,
There's
sexual abuse.
Sexual abuse, yes.
And they wasn't sure if it was against Wesley or not, so they freaked out when he touched his foster sister's leg
Yep, in the car.
in the car. And then they said,
We're not going to adopt you.
and then he threw a ball.
Yeah, in the car. Like a rubber ball, not like anything hard. But, you mad. You just told me I was going to get adopted, and now you're telling me you're not going to adopt me. Then he threw the ball, and then they just went and dropped him off DHR's doorstep.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
So when I got him and I got told this story, I was like, well, I ain't saying shit about adoption or that I'm going to until I know 100%, I'm going to adopt his little ass.
Which was up for debate for the first month or two.
Yes. And so, like, you have to, when you foster to adopt, that's what I was fostering, and technically, before, while we were deciding if we could,
Pre-adoption placement.
yes, to see if we could, live together, not kill each other, which is still debatable.
I was about to
I've
say,
had it
that
for
is
2
still up
years,
for debate.
So, but like, so the first weekend he came up and visited, it's like, what do I do in an 8-year-old? Here I am, usually just with my pups and my kitties and my friends, and I'm having fun. So, I made it a fun weekend because
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be mean. This little boy, doesn't have a home, and it's just kind of, so it's like splash pad and movies and fun stuff, but not really. I didn't really spend no money because I definitely didn't want him to see.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay for your affection or whatever.
But at that age, I don't think they know the difference.
I don't know, but he rubs that shit in my face as often. Whoa, the first weekend was the best ever, and you were so nice to me, and I thought that's what I was going to get all the time. And I was like, dude, you lived with me for 8 months before I adopted you. You knew what you were getting into.
Sucker.
Yeah, so, but he throws that back all the time. That first weekend was so awesome. You were such a nice mom. And I'm like,
Fooled you.
yep, sure did.
Yeah, I remember when Kalia first went to him, we didn't know what to do with her. We were still thinking of adopting that gay kid, remember? Mm-hmm. And then we got her kind of unexpectedly. So, but has he asked to go see his foster family?
He not asked to see them, but he wonders about them. And when he was in 2nd grade, his school didn't follow directions.
Oh,
like they were
that's
supposed
right.
to.
They called his
And they
old foster.
called his old foster family before calling me.
Kalia's school did the same thing. They called her old foster family, and they called Sandra, my mother-in-law.
Yeah. So
Before they called me.
They get all the numbers. So I told them, delete that shit. I don't want them to know where he is. Where, nothing. Because they were assholes. And that's truth. You don't do that to a baby.
No.
Because, him and Kalia, I've never seen anything that would... And even if there was, he's not going to do anything because he knows that we care about him and, we're not going to do anything to him and he's not going to do anything to anybody else because there's that little bit of trust right there for that. So, no, that was bullshit. I hated it. And then he moved to another foster family and... He was only there with them for a little bit before he went to a group home.
Was that respite care or something?
I think so. They're trying to find another place. And then the group home, they were moving to Alaska or some shit. I don't know really, but that was you have to either get him now after just meeting him for 2 weekends, or he has to go to another foster home.
Oh, I remember that.
I was...
Good old DHR,
really
strong arming
quickly
tactics.
placed with Wesley. He was placed with me very quickly because my best friend had passed, and I was going through grief, and then having an 8-year-old at the same time that was very rough during that time period.
Yep.
And then trying to figure out school, and like I really wasn't ready because it was 2 weeks before school started that I got him.
Yeah.
Because he was in Oakwood for like 2 weeks, and then school started, and then it's just.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It
Very
was
quickly.
a lot. But I mean, now we're in a routine now. I
And
yell. He goes to bed.
Yeah. And
I
it's
yell. He wakes up. I mean.
that uncontrolled rage.
Yeah.
She, oh, I was going to make a fabulous point, but it slipped my mind. Whatever. Alzheimer's is great. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about foster care just because, you know, like, I have... That was Jennifer's
Sorry.
poster.
My bad.
Fostering, yeah. So we,
Words are hard.
oh my God, we're such good podcasters. Now, I'm a little bit nervous about fostering because we're like, you know, we have an 8-year-old in the house, but we're going to limit it to 5 to 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want a baby.
Yeah.
You know, if I was younger, maybe, but I'm 44. I'll be 44 in December. I'm like, I ain't got time for no fucking babies.
Well, and then God forbid something happens to Kiki, then you have Ayana, and then another baby.
Yeah.
That'd be too much.
Yeah, it's way too much.
Yeah. So I mean, that's smart.
So
And then you don't have
like,
to pay for diapers.
Yeah, and I just want them in school. I
Yeah.
want them gone for a certain amount of time.
Yep.
I didn't real like I always knew I'm a sociable person, but I need some alone time.
Yeah.
And so having Kalia here, like during the pandemic, and
Yep.
she was on my ass 24/7. I
Yep.
was like, oh, I'm going to smother this child with a pillow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want a baby. I don't know how your friend, dear Mr. Barton, whom I'm hoping we can get on the podcast at some point.
I'm sure if we can get him away from all them
Oh,
children.
Jesus, he's got too many kids.
Yes.
But I think it'll be okay. I worry more about Kalia getting attached,
Yes.
but we'll see. I don't know. I just hope it doesn't exasperate her for like abandonment issues or some shit like that.
Yeah, I hope not. Well, dance sweat therapy is there for her.
Yeah, which sucks because I'm switching insurance and I still haven't started the new one yet. So I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it'll be all right. You figure it out.
Yeah.
You
we'll
always
get it.
call the people at APAC help you out a little bit too.
Well, they can't do anything for her because she's not adopted.
But I mean,
And they can give references and whatnot.
right, and you can, maybe ask, what can I get some hints for you to help her, because they can do that.
Yeah, I'm getting enough of a pay bump too. I could probably afford just to pay out of pocket. Because that the online therapy, like what are they called? The BetterHelp,
Yep.
whom we would love to be a sponsor of our podcast. They I looked into them and it's not bad, but it's a little more than I wanted to pay for myself at the
Right.
moment. But if I, with this pay upgrade, I was like, I could afford it. So I was thinking if I had to, I could do it with her. But I don't know if, an 8-year-old, how that would work because it's all remote.
Yeah.
But,
Like I said, play therapy for her is what she needs.
like
Until
a
she's a little older.
pillow over the face until she stops moving would be
That's
good
true,
too.
Yeah.
So foster families.
Well, I mean, we're talking ish because you're talking about fostering.
That's
so, I
true.
mean, you're talking about being a foster family. So,
I remember, speaking of being a foster family, I remember I would get so tickled with Zane when we talked about this, especially when we first started this whole process. He's like, I don't know if we should be a foster family, honey, because you are going to get attached. I mean, he was telling me I was going to attach.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Zane, you don't even like the kids, and I have no problem giving, I have a hard enough heart. I've worked with kids for a long time.
Right.
And I'm a big softie, and I know I am, but I have no problem being like, go on back to mom and dad.
Right.
That's fine.
yeah.
If mom and dad aren't beating the shit out of you or giving you drugs, go on back. It's
Yeah.
fine. Mom may stop being a whore. Good. Go back to her.
And now you have practice with Wesley. Go back to mom when he spends the night on Saturday or Friday night so that I can work.
So I always get tickled with Zane because he's like, I'm worried about you. I'm like, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, and then he wants a teenager, which is just baffles me because he doesn't understand what that would entail.
Teenagers are a whole different.
They're a whole different ball game.
Yeah, we got a diamond in the rough with Justin.
Yes.
He is not perfect by any means, but no behavioral problems.
Nope. No medicine.
No medicine. He's Justin. I love you, but you're dumb as a box of rocks. But he's still a good person.
Yes.
And I mean, a lot of the problems we've had have been of our own making, frankly.
Right.
But no, we lucked out with him.
Yes.
And I just I can't. The idea of getting a kid just going into puberty like a middle schooler,
13.
fuck that bullshit.
Yeah.
I would rather be shot. So give me a kid who's still in elementary school, still wants and needs some loving and reassurance.
Right.
Wants some cuddle time.
Can get helped. Because the older they get, they're not wanting help.
Yeah.
They
Justin
just
ain't
want
got-
you to leave them the fuck alone. Give them their phone, give them their room, and then
Mm-hmm.
they don't leave.
Yeah.
And then with everything, you'd have to hide all the liquor, all the PlayStations,
All the crack
all
and
that
the
stuff.
cocaine
Yes,
and the
all the
mushrooms and
pills.
the PCP. Fuck.
Yeah. So and then
too much.
Justin, I mean, it's just you don't know what you're getting into, and he's not here.
No.
Zane, I mean, is like
Yeah.
not here to have to deal with
The drama.
house stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think he's okay with the 5 to 10 years old because we talked about. I told him that I put it on the form, and he said, "Okay, that's fine." Because I wouldn't mind adopting another one, but the idea of I'm okay with just fostering too. Because the few people I've known who fostered and it didn't work out, they still know the kids that they fostered. Like they still babysit them on occasion.
Right.
So if you can be a resource for the parents, you still have the kids in their life.
Right.
So.
Like Kalia's old foster family.
That's
I
fine.
wish
Yeah.
Wesley had good ones.
Yeah.
Because I would drop the little fucker off in a heartbeat. Like, go spend the week with them. You know?
Here's the summer. Go.
Right. I would so do that. Because that's what they were, that's what they would talk to us about in the class is, it's a good idea to keep them with people that they know. Well, yeah. And these people are, inundated. They can be aunts, uncles. They can be friends. They can be grandma, grandpas. They can be cousins, whatever.
Yep.
I don't care. I would have loved him to have more people that he knew because everybody in his life right now is who I know
Yep.
and who I've, done stuff with.
I will say though, I remember you were telling me this the other week that for the 3 people that listen to this podcast, we appreciate it too. But Jennifer and I, or Zane and I, have Sunday dinners, and Jennifer and Wesley come over every Sunday for probably since 2019, I think.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Yeah, so we've been doing it for a bit, and last weekend we had to go out of town. No, it was Zane's birthday,
yeah.
and his dad wanted to take him out for dinner. And apparently Wesley got very upset that we didn't come over.
Very upset.
That makes it breaks my heart that he was upset, but at the same time, it was just like it just melts my heart that it meant that much to him. So
He was very upset he wasn't invited. I think he would have went and let Mama just fend on herself, but he was upset that he didn't get to go with you, even though I said you pick wherever you want to eat, we'll go eat. And oh no, and then he's like crying, and I'm like, but why can't we go? I was like, baby, we weren't invited. It's okay. It's Zane's birthday, This is his dad's paying for everybody. But you can pay, Mom. Yes, son, I can pay, but we weren't invited. Like, I had to have, it was probably like 15 minutes of conversation trying to explain to him, what was going on.
that's so sweet. It's like it breaks my heart that he was sad, but at the same time, it means a lot that it obviously the Sunday dinners mean so much to him. So I would say the traditions we've established have been really important. I'm glad we've done them.
Yes, and I'm glad, that we have.
The cat attacking.
Yeah, claws in the leg.
It's my pussy getting at you.
But yeah, so he was very. And so it's good that we have that. But again, all the people that he knows is me.
Yeah.
My people.
Well, but that would have been true if you'd had a baby too.
What? I know, but I would have loved to have him have his own people, his old foster family still in his life, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, if you're a good foster family and they do get back to their parents, then you can possibly, keep in their lives, which is great.
Yeah.
That's
what we're hoping to be. That's what I would like to be.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'd be sad to see the kid, whatever kid go, but I'm like, I also know it just doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
I think when we were talking about, when Zane and I first started talking about this whole thing, I think I saw a thing that said it's about 50% of foster families end up adopting. So that means half the time it doesn't work, half the time it does. So.
Well, and then also it's like they might go back to their family.
Yeah. And that's the ultimate goal. That's what I would want.
Right. And if the family's good, then that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want them to go back to their mom and dad.
Yep.
Or mom or dad or moms or dads.
Well, I don't think we'll be able to get him this season, but my best friend Feej, I've known him for 20 years. He's a foster family, him and his husband foster. And the very very first two kids they got were it was a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old, and the 7-year-old is the one that stoned a duck to death.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah. So, but the next kids they got, they fostered for 4 or 5 years when mom got clean from drugs. Went back to mom. Mom was still using, but like she was sober while she was in that probationary period or whatever. Mom started using again, but she would say, "Hey, I'm going to drop the kids off with you if that's okay, so they're safe. I know they're safe." Okay. So she would drop the kids off with them, go use away from the kids, come back when she was sober enough to get them and take them home. It progressed and got worse, and they ended up adopting them eventually. Right. But yeah, I'm like, I just pray that doesn't happen with whatever foster kid we get. Right. But fostering is it's necessary but painful.
Yeah. And I mean, it just sucks for the kid.
Yeah.
They're not asking for any of this.
No.
They're not asking for mom to be a drug user.
No.
They don't understand that this is an addiction. It's not, something that mama can necessarily, just stop at a dime. It is, a mental illness that just gets you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't get out of it. Yeah, and you can't get it out. You can't get out of it, and then we just treat people who are.
Yeah, we just treat them like criminals.
That it's just bad, and so, it's bad.
It's very bad.
But
what's funny is like the very definition of addiction is like something you do to the detriment of like personal life and stuff like you do it even though you know it's gonna you can't stop yourself even though you know it's gonna harm your personal life, and it just that is the definition. It's like something you cannot stop yourself from doing even though you know it's going to damage.
Right.
So, yet we treat these people just like criminals and awful people. And it happens. You're just wired that way a lot of times.
Yeah.
Oh, it just breaks my heart.
So I'm watching a TV show called Dope Sick. It's on the Hulu.
Is that with
Rosario Dawson
Batman?
is in it.
Isn't it Keaton, Michael Keaton?
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, it's not a Batman movie. I thought you were saying that it was like Batman was like the main character. Like no, Michael Keaton.
Robin starts abusing.
Yeah. Rosario Dawson, Michael Keaton, and it's about the OxyContin.
Yeah.
And how it came, and majority of the people that became addicted per the show. I don't know how true this is. I want to say that it's very true, but it's
white.
Well, that they didn't know that it was. They were told it was non-addictive or unaddictive, not non-addictive. Non-addictive. I think it's
non-habit forming.
There you go. And they were told like less than 4% of people became addicted to it or whatever, and then they would up the milligrams.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, if someone's in pain, just start them off at 20. Oh, we're doing so good on this. Like a couple years later, we're doing so. Let's make a 160 milligram tablet. And then people started, because it was where it was slow,
slow release.
Slow release. So people learned that if you suck on it for a little bit and then chop it up and snort it, then it became fast release, and they get all of it at one time. And it's like all these people were getting, addicted to it, and they didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't anyone to help them get off, like to make it help them out and not be on it anymore.
Yeah.
And they were just like, here's more pills, and it's just
And doctors happily writing the prescriptions.
yes. And it's the craziest thing. I mean, it's not over yet, but it's like I know people that
you?
that was addicted to Oxy.
Oh yeah.
And my best friend died from just drugs in general, all kinds of different ones.
I was about to say your brother-in-law just passed away from an opioid. He wasn't an opioid user, but it just fentanyl got snuck into his
marijuana.
weed.
Yeah. So and it's you just don't know.
Yeah. On that same note, I know we're on a completely different tangent for foster families, but whatever. I'm glad to see people are starting to take addiction more seriously, but it's highly infuriating to think that it took a bunch of white people getting hooked on opioids.
Yep.
Because there was none of this pity and bullshit for the black community during the crack epidemic.
Well, they were the ones giving them the crack.
Yeah. And so that's it's like, oh, grandma couldn't help it, but now she's selling her cooch on the corner for some smack. And I'm like, okay. But we can hate on the black folks who were like dying and going to prison for crack addiction. Ugh.
Well, and then rehabs.
Yeah.
They are the most fucking expensive thing in the world.
And half of them, like, there's no scientific data that shows they work.
Right.
Like, there's very little scientific data to show they work. Ugh. And a lot of them are, like, religious-based. So, like, if you're an atheist or if you are non-Christian or a Jew or a Hindu or something like that, well, you're fucked.
Or you have to go to, like, Betty Ford and spend, put a second mortgage on your house to go and
or be the president's wife.
Right. It's the craziest thing though that we don't take care of our people.
Nope.
That need the care.
Did you hear about that in one of the Nordic countries? I don't know which one, but they for their opioid addicts, what they did is they started providing prescription heroin to them.
Oh yeah, then clean centers like where they can go shoot up and it's a clean environment and they have clean needles and
but
all that
like
stuff too.
The big thing was because they started they saw people were addicted to heroin. They're like, okay, heroin is actually. Did you know heroin is actually a brand name?
No.
Yeah, it's a brand name owned by Bayer. But I guess I don't know if it still exists or not. But it was a pain medication.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Well, just like Coke used to be in Coke, so
But they started prescribing the addicts heroin and letting them do it in safe places. And because they have free healthcare, it was free, and it put all the drug dealers out of business. Because they're like, oh, I don't have to pay for it anymore. I can just go here. And then they were like, it's so cheap to give them prescription heroin and let them abuse or let them use it. And then when, like every time they use it, like, here, would you like to talk about therapy? Would you like to talk about addiction recovery? They can always say no, but it's still cheaper than like throwing them in jail for 10 years.
Right.
Which is, horrendously expensive. But we certainly wouldn't want to do that. Oh, whatever.
Which they can get to heroin in jail, so it doesn't stop them from doing what they're doing. So crazy.
What are we gonna do?
Foster families.
Hopefully, we make some good ones. I think we'll be okay.
I think you will, and then the kids will always have an Auntie J too. So
that's right. To yell at them.
Yep, exactly. Because Clea's probably gonna be like, "Y'all about to meet Auntie J?
She's really
Don't
strict.
Fuck with her. She will get you.
She'll make you cry.
She'll make you cry. She'll make you go to your room. She'll make you do what she says."
Oh, well, do you think it's time for snack time?
Snack time?
Snack time.
Snack time.
What do we have? This is something you brought from an office party.
Yeah, it's I guess they got it at like the Walmarts.
It's like a sweet bar. It's caramel corn with a little bit of chocolate on it.
Pretzels and then a big chunk of chocolate is in there too. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a sweet bar mix or something like that.
Yeah, it's really, I like it.
Yeah, it's very addictive.
It is very addictive.
I like it too.
It's crack in a container. It was for Halloween goodie party that we had, and no one was, gonna eat it, so I took it home.
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna eat it, so.
We're trying our best not to chew in the microphones anymore.
Yeah.
I think I said this before. I was like, I thought the whole concept of snack time was cute, but I'm like, oh yeah, I don't think people like it when we chew into the microphone.
Well, some people might. You never know. They're gonna let us know about that.
That's
though.
right. All right, so we had snack time. We had some little diabetes in a bowl.
Now it's story time. And I told the last story, so now it's your awesome story.
I know. This one, I wasn't there for it, but Zane told us about it. Or I think Zane told both of us.
I was there.
You were there? I thought Zane was there. Okay.
Well, we were both there, but I'm the one that
y'all went down. It was for Ava's birthday, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, they went down. Okay. So, Kalia, I was out. I don't know where I was at, but Zane took Kalia and Wesley down to the neighbor's house. Miss Dacia, we had her on the podcast earlier.
Yep.
They're just to go play, and then we found out it was their daughter's birthday. So, I think you and Zane went down there to go get them, so they wouldn't have to feed them, basically.
Well, we were going to go get them for food.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know anything when we got there.
Yeah, but you showed up, and they're like, oh, let's go eat. And the Dacian side were like, oh, we already fed them. Is that right?
Yeah, we're feeding them now. And they had Chick-fil-A.
And Kalia was like, oh, I can't have chicken. I used to have a pet chicken. And from what I've heard, I wish I had been there because my eyes would have just scraped the ceiling rolling so hard. So that little fucker ain't never had no goddamn chicken. I was like, bitch, you eat chicken all the time. Shut the hell up. Eat that goddamn hateful chicken from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Dacia looked at me and she was like, she says she doesn't eat chicken, so we just gave her French fries. And I was like, Dacia, she eats chicken. And then I went over to her and I was like, you're eating chicken. You eat chicken all the time. Heck, last night we had chicken spaghetti. You're going to eat chicken. You eat it all the time. And she just looked at me like, okay, Auntie J. And so I put some chicken nuggets on her plate and asked her if she wanted sauces and figured all that stuff out and was like, eat the chicken.
Oh my God. What a stupid thing to lie about.
And again, why? I don't understand, but they do that sort of thing.
I had pet chickens.
Your friends, or our friends, really got her the next night, I want to say, or the next weekend, Louise and Griffin, when they were...
Yeah, they had come over. Louise and Griffin came over, and I told them the story, and Griffin followed around and went bark, 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 flapping his wing. She got so mad.
And now it's a running joke with them because when I saw them last weekend when I was watching her for you guys, they were saying that they were gonna I don't know if it was a birthday or Christmas, they're gonna do something chicken related and like get her because they just think it's the funniest thing in the world that she's lying about chickens.
Oh my God, it is the funniest thing.
It is, but and we named the chicken. What did we name? We named the chicken that she supposedly had. Was it Clucky or something? Yeah. But God, yeah, it's the craziest thing. Kids.
Fucking kids. Oh my God. Well, it has been another episode. Can you believe it? The season is almost over.
Yeah.
We just got one more guest, and then I don't know. I'm not sure where this one falls in the lineup, so just ignore this. But
right.
Yeah. But we've been trying to do like one guest, and it's just Jennifer and I shooting the shit.
Yep.
So
because we're good at that.
Yeah. And I don't want to keep having to ask all our friends. We'll run out of friends real quick.
Right. Like, we don't want to come over.
Yeah. Well, I think we have enough parent friends, but like not everybody is a great talker.
Yeah.
Some people are just kind of dry and quiet. And
don't want to talk about it.
Nope. And I've been surprised the people we've had and been like, oh, I was so nervous when we came on. I'm like, I was like, we talk shit about the kids all the time.
Right.
Why? Just because you got a microphone in your mouth. Who cares?
Doesn't stop us.
I don't know. All right. Well, thank you, all three of our listeners, for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, if you don't like, God bless. And if you don't like our podcast, just like we tell our kids when they complain about not liking what I'm cooking,
Tough shit.
bye.
Bye.